EastEnders has been good at staying up in my rankings lately. A big turnaround from when I started this in the fall. EastEnders once again coming in at number 3. And I don't really know where to even start with this. I think we're going to start with Janine and Linda. Janine, in all of her desperation, in this, what I kind of feel is a fail of a return for Janine. Unfortunately, returning under John Sen was a bad idea. But Janine wanted to pay off Linda to leave so that Janine could be with Mick, because Linda and Mick were having some good conversations again, and things between Janine and Mick have never been working out. And Janine offered Linda money that she took from others, and Linda accepted the offer from Janine. She took Janine's money, but then Linda never left, and I think that was awesome from Linda. When Linda is sober, she could be a good character, and her outplaying Janine here works, and I like that. So a positive story there, as we see what will happen between Linda and Mick as, spoiler alert, possibly, Mick's time with the show starts to run down. But I think next we gotta tackle this Ben stuff. We have to tackle this Ben story. Ben's been targeting people who he believes are homophobic, beating them up because Ben himself is gay, and he's been going through his sexuality here for a while now. But then he ends up attacking Peter wrongly, and Ben finally has to start to admitting to people that he's been this attacker. He already admitted it to the bartender that he's been talking to a lot, who we shall get to, and he also admits it to Callum as well. So, Callum and Ben having their usual problems in their relationship, and Ben turns to this bartender, Lewis, and one night he gets drunk with Lewis. They end up going to have sex, but then Ben starts to not want to do it. He says no, and then Lewis rapes Ben. So, EastEnders tackling male rape, although they just did this not that long ago. And it's layered here because Ben was also raped in the same place his mother was raped decades ago on EastEnders. And I'm still not sure how I feel about the story. I don't know if they're just doing this story to try and make us feel sorry for Ben, because Ben's got a lot of hate. Ben's a very divisive character. Ben has a lot of stands, or people hate the character of Ben. And rightfully so. But I don't know if telling this homophobic story and Ben's character wanting to attack these homophobic characters only to then be raped by a gay character and the other gay character being a villain, I see why people don't know how to feel about this story coming right after this story from Ben attacking homophobes. So I get some of the reasons people aren't liking this story. Now, I think so far they've done a good job of, portraying Ben as a victim, although soap operas portray what I don't like that soaps do all the time with rape stories, and I do think British soap operas handle rape way better than American soap operas. Way better. Like, it's not even close. American soap operas should never touch this topic again, because they've done not a whole lot of good has came from American soap operas touching this topic in all of its history. But I don't like how on every soap opera, no matter the country, when a character is raped, they're supposed to be in these couples that are supposed to be lovers and supposed to be close, and they never want to actually tell their significant other what happened. And I don't think that's as true to life as the soaps want to portray. Like, I get that victims don't want to go out and, talk about this and hide it in, and they don't want to go to the police about it, but I don't buy that every victim on a soap opera won't tell their significant others, and instead this causes more It's like a plot device I don't like, just to cause more drama for couples. And this is to cause more drama for Ben and Callum, as Callum is pretty certain that Ben and Lewis slept together, but doesn't realize that Lewis raped Ben. So I just hope that they don't drag the story out in typical soap opera fashion. I see people speculating that they might drag this out till Phil gets out of prison so that Phil could handle it. And God, that would be terrible. I think this story needs to wrap up in June, and so Ben isn't hiding this from everyone for months. But in typical soap opera fashion, Callum probably won't find out for months. But I think that's wrong, and I think that will definitely dock some points from EastEnders for me, and I will have to drop it in my rankings because I don't want to see this story stressed out, and I don't think that's the right message to send with this story, frankly. Jean is still recovering from her manic episodes, and they've been doing a really good job handling this mental health story. Kinda, it gets bouts of annoying though, but Jillian Wright, who plays Jean, really does such a great job of portraying Jean and all of her mental health issues that's been going on. Jean was in the hospital. I still don't understand how the hospital was able to release Jean back to Stacy in the state that Jean has been in. That part of the story didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But now we're getting the story where Jean is telling Lily, who's Stacy's daughter, that, this is going to be passed on to Lily. These mental problems that Jean has are going to be passed on to Lily, and Lily starts taking Jean's pills. We get to this point where when Stacy finds out what Jean said to Lily, Stacy gets upset with Jean again, and they have this little argument. Jean shoves Stacy. Broken glass goes into her back. She gets cut up, but she doesn't go to the hospital, and she probably should have went to the hospital because she ends up passing out from blood loss. So they continue to handle the story well. The acting on it is superb. But here is becoming a possible problem with EastEnders. I need to know when Chris Crenshaw is taking over, because the EastEnders is really starting to look like a Kate Oates show. And for me, I actually think June is going to be make or break for EastEnders in my rankings, because I can see it going either way. Because a lot of the shows, a lot of the stories right now on EastEnders, I don't really want to watch because they're getting a little too dark and depressing for me. Because we go from Ben getting raped to Jean and her mental health issues to we have Stuart, who is not connecting with the kid that he and Rainey have together that Bernie carried for them. And he kind of hates the kid. So we got that story. Plus he's battling cancer. It's just starting to look too much like Kate Oates. And Kate Oates, when she gets her hands on these shows, they become very dark and depressing. And that's not really my jam to watch for too long. As good as they are telling these stories. These stories are good, but are they stories I want to watch constantly because they're too dark and depressing? Not really. We also have Sam doing a good job of trying to get between Kat and Sharon because Sharon's out of town. And, Phil brought Sam to town to kind of deal with the business. But we also have Sam kind of living with Denise and Jack and continuing to cause problems for them. Not really filling that story, but I'll see where it goes. It's another story that I kind of would like to move along, to be honest. I also just wish the show would actually just have more for Kim to do. Kim is a great character. I get that the show uses her for comic relief, but can we get more for Kim? I know they gave her a web series on YouTube, but I would like to see Kim have a more story of substance on this show. And I'm not even going to talk about all the Queen stuff that's been going. The Queen's going to appear on EastEnders, and they've been really propping up the royal family. It's a bit much for me, but I didn't dock points from EastEnders to me because, just to sum it up, EastEnders is telling some socially relevant stories: mental health, rape, seeing a parent not connecting with their child. This happens for sure. But it's a lot for me to be happening all at once. So for now, the stories they're being told very well. But some of them need to not be stretched out much longer because the Jean story can get annoying. And the Ben being raped and not telling anyone should not be dragged out. That's not the way to tell the story in typical fashion that soaps always tell the story. But for now, it's still in third place, but I do think June is make or break creatively for EastEnders, and I hope Chris Crenshaw takes over in June so we can see what stories he brings, but hopefully he's good and he's not like Johnson, and then EastEnders doesn't just free fall in my fucking rankings.